So coming to today's class, we are going to discuss on data visualizations. So basically these data visualizations are going to show like how the data is there. So basically we have to do a lot of analysis when we get to some data frames and all, right, for pandas and all. So in the analysis kind of situations like this will be very much helpful. Okay, so to visualize how the data is there. Okay, so to compare with the different set of columns and all. Okay, so like that, so there will be a lot of advantage, so in order to analyze any kind of data. Okay, so let's import our packages and see. And for visualizations we are going to use two more packages. So matplotlib.pyplot. So matplotlib.pyplot. So this one I'm going to use it as PLT. Okay. So matplotlib is a visualization package. So which we are going to do all the visualization stuff and all. And the other one is Seaborn. So Seaborn is another package. Okay. So that is what we are going to use for visualization. So either matplotlib or Seaborn, any one you can use. Okay, or both you can use as you wish. Okay, so I'm importing both and we'll see both how to do and all. Okay, so let me do one thing. pd dot set option. So max underscore columns will be none. Okay, oh sorry, display. So display dot max columns will be none. So this is okay, we have imported our columns and let's load our data set as well. So data is called pd dot read csv and let me get the path. Okay, so data dot head. So this is our data set, right? So yesterday we did, sorry, in the last few classes we have did on this data set only. Okay, so now we are going to do visualizations on this data. So what kind of visualizations you do generally? So like in general, so when you are doing data analysis using visualizations and all, so you have three things. One is univariate analysis, and second one is bivariate analysis, and multivariate analysis. Okay, so the meaning of this is 1D data or single column, you can say, and coming to this one 2D or two columns, and coming to this one, so this will be not exactly two-dimensional data. Okay, so like more columns, because like a one column also you can project that in a two-column data, like two-dimensional data, sorry. So that's why, so you can consider two columns, and this one will be two or more columns. Okay, so consider it like this. So univariate analysis will be applied on single column, bivariate analysis will be applied on two columns, multivariate analysis will be applied on two or more than two columns. Okay, so that is like this we will do analysis generally. So let's first of all let's do some small like visualization things, and then we'll apply those on our data. Okay, so to use our visualization packages, matplotlib and Seaborn, so we have imported those, so plt and sns. So let me just get some data first. So np dot ran So there is one thing called np dot sign. So this is nothing but sign values. Okay, np dot sign is nothing but sign values. Okay, you can just mention your value and then it is going to get sign values of that. So for example, np dot sign of 10. Okay, sign theta. Okay, basically we are applying sign theta. So we can get some data like this. So now what I'll do is I will just create uh, np dot arrange of. So I will do from 0 to 10. Okay, so this is my x data and let me do y is equals to np dot arrange of 0 comma let's do one thing, so 10 comma 20. Okay, so this is my x and y data. So now let's do plt dot plot. So plt dot plot. So basically we are just plotting. So let's see how it comes. Okay, so plt dot plot of x. Okay, so basically, so when I am plotting x values, so x values are nothing but, so 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay, 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So here you don't know exactly which is x-axis and which, I mean, what are the x-axis values and what are the y-axis values, you don't know. So that's why what happens is, so this particular values are going to be plotted with respect to the serial numbers. You can consider it like that. Okay, so for 0, what is the 0th, for the 0th position what is the value, for the first position what is the value, like that. Okay, so 0 0 1 1 2 2 2 2, like that. Okay, so let's do the same thing for y as well. plt dot plot of y. So it is also same thing, but you can see the value change. So 0, and with respect to the left hand side values, it is starting from 10. Okay, you can see the range of values in the y axis, guys. Okay, so 0 to 0 to 10 and 10 to 20, like that. Okay, so coming to like we can combine both plots. Okay, we can plot both x and y. Okay, so here we are simply getting some line plot. Okay, when I'm saying plt dot plot, so it is just getting me a line plot. So what I'm going to do is plt dot plot. Now what I'm going to do is I'll put x comma y, so that this data only. Okay, x and y, this data only I'm plotting here. So here what happens is, for x and y, with respect to the x, it is going to plot the y values. Okay, so in x axis whatever the x values are there, it is going to be plotted, and in the y axis whatever the y values are there, it is going to plot. Okay, so of course here you are not going to see any change, because with the previous diagram and this diagram both are same values, because x axis is again the same value 0 to 10 and y axis is again the same 10 to 20. So let's do some change in our data. Okay, so what we'll do is np dot sign of x. So now I am converting each and every value in the x data. Okay, in the x variable, whatever the data is there, I am converting that into sign. Okay, and let me put it as x underscore sign, and then y values also I'll convert. Y underscore sign is equal to np dot sign of y. Okay, so now I'll plot this plt dot plot of x underscore sign and y underscore. So you can see, so the range of values are different completely. Okay, the range of values are completely different. So this line plot is basically, of course, it's not exactly like in a particular order going towards left hand side or right hand side, or it's not what we say, it's not going towards increasing order or decreasing order your values. So there is no particular graph kind of thing. Okay, so here we are just plotting our x values versus y values. Okay, x sign values versus y sign values, and it is plotting orderly, so however it goes. Okay, so you can see here, let me show you. So x sign and y sign. Okay, so for 0th value, okay, for 0th value, it is plotting the minus 0.5. okay, minus 0.5, I think so. It is somewhere here. Okay, so this value, Okay, this value is the starting point. It is started something like this. Okay, but however, to show clearly the points, okay, to show the points clearly, so there is one more way we can do, comma. Let's put, after the comma, let's put a star here. So you can see here it is going to be connected. Okay, it is going to be shown like this. Okay, so for every value, so these are the points that were there. Okay, so x comma y values are pointed like this in the plane. So like this you can, or there are some other symbols that you can put like this. Okay, so when you are putting star hyphen, let me point it here. So in this one, so star hyphen when you are doing, so it is going to be like this. So you can change your values, any values that you wanted you can put. Okay, so let me put something else. Let's say there is one more thing called cap. So when you are putting cap, it will be like this, triangles. Okay, delta symbol. Okay, so like that. So you can change some symbols. Okay, so if you are putting something like O, it will be circles. Okay, circles. And let's put, okay, fine. So you can play with this later. And also one more thing, so you can also add color. Okay, so let's say R. One second. I think I need to mention the color map. Scalex. Something like this. You have to mention color is equal to green. So your values are going to be like this. So let me just here, and I'll change this O hyphen. Okay, so you can change your color of the plot. Okay, you can change the color of the plot now you want. Okay, yeah. So like this you can create a line plot also. So but there are a lot of things that you can do with the data. Okay, so one thing is so you can create bar plots. Okay, you can create scatter plots. So scatter plots and this kind of plots are both are same. Sorry, this scatter plot on basically. So there is no separate way of describing, but so there is a separate function for scatter plot. Okay, there are bar plots, there are histograms. Okay, so that we can do. So simply what you have to do is you have to just plt dot hist. Okay, so this is histogram. You can just put x. So it is of course the values. So the values of a histogram are basically going to be nothing but the frequency. Okay, so 0 how many times it was repeated, 2 how many times it was repeated, 5 4 how many times it was repeated, something like that. Or say for example I'll remove this x and I'll put some data. So 1 comma 1 3 4 5. So you can see here 1 is repeated 2 times, so the frequency is 2. So that's what histogram shows. Okay, how many times a particular value is repeated. Okay, so shows the frequency of a value. Okay, shows a frequency of a value, something like that. Okay, and one more thing, so if you don't want all this data coming up here, so you can just what you can do is let me show. So once you did this, you can simply do plt dot show. So when you are doing plt dot show, all this matter whatever it is there, it is not going to be shown. Okay, it is not going to be shown here. Okay, so moving on. So that's histogram, and similarly like you can do with the bar plot and all. So bar plot, scatter plot and all, but I'll show you with the data set itself. Okay, so whatever the data that we have imported with the data set itself, I'll show you. Okay. And coming to Seaborn, so in Seaborn also like same kind of things. Okay, but so there will be, instead of plot there will be line plot. Okay, so there will be line plot. So you can just mention your x sign comma y sign. So it is going to showcase you clearly like this. Okay, so this is how it is plotting. So there is a difference for this one and this one. Okay, this one and this one. So clearly it is showing you. Okay, So it is somehow connecting all this, but it is actually ordering based upon the order it is connecting. Okay, and it is connecting based upon from the left hand side to right hand side. Okay, like kind of sorting, it is sorting the data and based on that it is actually doing that. Okay, so that's what happening here. And so you can also do SNS dot instead of histogram, I think there is only bar plot for this one. Okay, but anyhow, so I'll show you bar plot, scatter plot, all that in detail in the data set. Okay, so the difference between Seaborn and Matplotlib. So Seaborn is more visually, it will be more like beautiful kind of thing, but Matplotlib will not be that much beautiful because the package is written like that. So let's remove this. Okay. And there are some other stuff that you can add in for a plot. Okay, so naming the x-axis, naming the y-axis, okay, naming the whole plot, giving the title to the plot, like that. So putting multiple plots side by side, okay, top bottom, like that. So you can do all those kind of things. Okay, so of course we'll get to there later. So let me show you one by one. Okay, so so coming to so our data set. Okay, so let's do our analysis on small visualization analysis on this data. So first of all, let's do univariate analysis. Okay, so data.head. So let's take any particular column and we'll do that. So for like the numbers can be plotted generally, but not the names, right? So even names can be plotted using bar plots and all. Okay, so of course we'll do that later. So first of all, let's take some numerical data and we'll try to plot it. Okay, say for example NA sales. Okay, North America sales. Let's take that. Okay. So PLT dot plot of so data of NA sales. Okay, I'm just calling that call. So this is how the graph of the North America sales it is. Okay, so like it is based upon the number of records. Okay, the x-axis is basically so the record number, 0th record, first record, second record, so till the last record. Okay, so till that records how the values are varying. Okay, so initial value is top, so the starting value is very much high. So to be more clear, what we'll do is we'll increase the size of the figure. Okay, so PLT dot figure. So first of all, when you're putting a figure, first of all let's put the size of that figures. Okay, so fig size will be let's say some 15 comma 10. Okay, so width and height, guys. Okay, so height and width. So 15 is the height and 10 is the width. So let's decrease this 10. So width and height. Sorry, let's put 15 and this one let me go to 5. Okay, so this is a little better. Okay, this is a little bit better. Okay, and let me write PLT dot show. So this is our figure. Okay, so we can simply say this is a distribution. Okay, this is kind of a distribution, how the values are distributed. Okay, but there is other functions as well for the distribution in Seaborn. Okay, we'll get to that. So coming to the Seaborn case. Okay, so let's do our line plot. Okay, and so here instead of putting PLT, I'll put SNS line. So sorry, it needs to have x-axis values and y-axis values formatted. Okay, in C1. Okay, so that's why we are getting the error. So let's put both x-axis and y-axis. So this one I'm going to represent in y-axis. So let me put in the x-axis values. So x-axis, what I'll do is I'll just take the index. Okay, I'll just take the index. So the same thing. Okay, this is how you can represent the values in C1 and Matplotlib. And you can see here when we are representing the column name, so directly the column name is represented in the y-axis. Okay, you can see here. So whatever the column name that you are mentioning, it is maybe. So like this, you can plot your figures in your Matplotlib or C1. Okay. So this is a single column. Okay, we are just plotting a single column basically. So that's what univariate analysis does. Okay, single column we are plotting. But here in line plot we have to mention two columns for sure because it is C1. Okay, for single column, of course, however we are getting the information about single column only, but we are mentioning two columns. Okay, so this is completely univariate analysis in Matplotlib. So we are just passing one single column. Okay, so and we are getting the distribution of the data. Very good. Yeah. Okay, so let's take one more thing. So let's do like say for example for genre. Okay, genre. So genre is a string data, right? So data of genre. So genre is a string or object kind of data. Okay. So if you are plotting it, okay, so directly you cannot do plt.plot for it. Okay. So what you can do is, let's do one thing, value underscore counts. Okay. Value underscore counts. So you are getting value underscore counts for these values. Okay, right? So and you can actually plot these values. Okay, you can actually plot these values. Okay, so let's do one thing. So plt dot plot, and one more thing, you can get only the values by using values. So only values by using the dot values thing. Okay, so let me put it like this, dot values. So we are getting only the values. So let's do plt.plot of, copy this whole thing and put it here. Yeah, so this is how the distribution is there for genre. So how each value is being there. Of course, the order is like that. Okay, so it is in the descending order basically. So that's why it is like that. Okay, so coming to the next case. Okay, so coming to the next scenario. So we are going to yeah, so this is single column, right? So single column like this you can do. So if it is for a string column, you can do like this. So if it is a numerical column, so directly you can do you can pass the data and you can just simply plot. Okay, so and the same thing will be applied for histogram as well. Okay, so plt dot histogram of, so let's pass in this data. Okay, of course there are no same values, but anyhow. Yeah, so coming to the case of this, so okay, so it is basically showing showcasing you that in between 500 to 1000 how many values are there? Okay, something like that. So between 500 to 750, something like that, 1000 to 1500, or 1500 to 2000, so 2000 to 2500, or so the range here you can see from 2000 some 2200 or something like that to 2500 in between. So you can see here, so after 2000 to till this part there is no values, so that's why there is a gap. So from 2500 to till 3000 something, so there is no values, so that's why again it started at this part. Okay, so like that it is implemented, and you can see 2812. So after 2500 there is one value. Okay, so that's why it is in there. Okay, So it is basically going to be shown like that. And one more thing is that so there is one option called bins. Okay, so number of bins is nothing but this rectangular boxes. Okay, how many number of bins you want, you can mention. So let's say bins is equal to, so let's say some 10. Okay, so by default, of course, now currently I think it is 10. So let's make it to 15. Okay, so it is going to change the number of bins based on that. It is going to showcase. Okay, so it is going to like thinner your data. Okay, thin your data. Okay, so that's what happens. And so yeah, so this is a histogram when you apply on a single column. Okay, this is the histogram when you apply on a single column. So coming to the next one. Okay, so like this we will do the univariate analysis, like single column analysis. Like this you can do. And I will also show you one more thing called pie chart. Okay, so there is one thing called plt dot pie. Okay, plt dot pie. So I think you know the pie charts, right? So it will be in a circle and it will be divided based upon the values, the set of values. Okay. So what I'll do is, so let me take this genre, the same thing. Let me do plt.show. So you can see here different colors were assigned. Okay, different colors were assigned for each thing. Okay, but here we need to mention. Okay, we need to mention the values. Okay, so what you can do is you can do labels. Okay, you can mention the labels. What is the label? Okay, basically, so labels are nothing but, so here we have action, sports, miscellaneous, role playing, like that, right? So for each and every every slice, okay, so one name you can one name is assigned, so we can get that values, right? So instead of values, if you put index, you'll get the names. Okay, so you can put labels will be this one. So you can see here, sports, action, miscellaneous, like that. Okay, sports, action, miscellaneous. Let me do one thing. Okay, yeah. So this one will be better than the previous one. So this one will be better. Let me increase the size as well. Size. So let me put 10 comma. Yeah. Okay. So increasing the figure. Okay. And let me copy this and paste it below. So this is one single column value. Okay. So this is what we are doing for the univariate analysis. Okay. So and also let me bring up one more thing. So here there is one more thing called auto PCT. So let me do this. I'm just going to try. One second. Let me just check it. Something like this. Okay. Yeah, so percentile dot 2f is basically nothing but dot after dot how many decimals we are putting, like that. Okay, so if you are putting 1, it will be 1 decimal. Okay, if you are putting 5, it is 5 decimals. F represents float. Okay, F represents float. So like this you can mention. So you can see the percentage of share for each slice we are mentioning here. Okay, percentage of share it is mentioned. So here we can clearly see how much percentage share each genre is taking, like that you can see. Okay, so like this we can do analysis on single columns. Okay, and coming to the next case, we are going to look at two columns. Okay, so bivariate analysis. So coming to the case of bivariate analysis, we are going to do the analysis on two columns. Okay, so for this case, let's take data dot head. So in the data dot head, so what we can do is let's take for particular genre what is the sales in global sales. Okay, for particular genre what is the global sales, we'll see. Okay, so we'll use C1. Okay, for this one, lt dot figure fig size, let's give 15,5, and now SNS dot bar plot. Okay, so we are going to use a bar plot now. So for every particular genre, so what is the global sales that was there. Okay, so let's do this. So data of genre summer, and coming to the y-axis values. Okay, so this is x-axis. Okay, so this is x-axis, and let me put y-axis values. So data of global sales. Okay, and plt dot show. Okay, so you can see here, so sports is having this many values. Okay, you can see I think it is mentioned the average or so. So for the sports, and I have taken global sales. Okay, let's do one thing. Data of dot group by let's do for genre. So genre group, so just for a better understanding, guys. Okay, genre group. So if we are grouping by our genre, and then we are going to do mean mean of, so let's take global sales. Yeah, okay, so you can see here for sports, so this is the average 0.56, so 0.56. So and coming to the simulation, I think, yeah, platform. So coming to the platform, so it is 0.93, so that's why it is showcased here. And these lines are nothing but, we'll call it as confidence interval kind of it. So confidence interval is nothing but like it is showing that so the values, the next values. Okay, so generally the values are ranging from this point to this point. Okay, so like that it is basically, it's kind of a prediction you can consider. Okay, but not exactly the values. Okay, it is going to tell about the prediction. These lines are basically telling about the predictions. Okay, so your values might range from this point to this point. And so here you can see CI is equal to 95. This is called confidence interval with 95% confidence. Okay, with 95% confidence, how the like how these lines are there. Okay, so if I am reducing it, okay, if I am reducing the percentage. Okay, for example, I'll tell you one small example. So let's say there is a match going to be between some two countries. Okay, So let's say one country have has elected for batting. Okay, so it's a 50 overs match, and if I ask you how much score, okay, how much score that a particular team, what are the batting team is there, how much score can they do? So I am asking you with 99% confidence. Okay, so with the 99% confidence I can say, so they can range from 200 to 400. I'll say this is a bigger range, okay, because in the 50 hours match there is a high probability that the score will be going from 200 to 400. But if I decrease my confidence 99%, 95%, if I say, so my values can range from, let's say, 250 to 350. Okay, so I am decreasing the range and I'm decreasing my confidence also. Okay, when I'm decreasing the range, obviously the confidence will be decreased. So if I say, for example, so if I say the values are ranging, will the score will be between 300 to 320, something like that. So what will be your confidence? Okay, your confidence will be like, let's say, 50%, because it is not that much sure that they can score from 300 to 320 like that. Okay, or if I say they will score 450 to 500, something like that. So this is highly high, like most unlikely thing, right? So what you'll say, you'll be some like 5% confidence, something like that. Okay, your confidence level will decrease if the range is decreasing. Okay, if the range is decreasing, or if you are considering something which is very extreme, something like that. Okay, so these lines are also representing the same thing. Okay, so your values might range from this point to this point with the 95% confidence. Okay, by default in statistics or in data science, so with the 95% confidence itself you will be taking. Okay, so you won't be taking other like by default it is that. If you want, you can change that. So if I change ci is equals to 99. Okay, so your range, of course, not much of a difference, but generally it will be changing. So let me put 20%. So here range is decreased. Okay, so because of that the accuracy, I mean, sorry, because of that the confidence interval is decreased. Okay, so ci with 20 and ci with 99 are completely different. Okay, so I can say, so with the bigger range my confidence is more, with the lesser range my confidence is very less. That's for this. Okay, and we can also remove these lines. Okay, so we can also remove these lines. So let me remove this first. And so in this plot what you can do is I think it's Dodge estimated data hue, let's see, orient, color palette, saturation. Let's see this Dodge. I think it should be okay, not even Dodge. Okay, but actually, so there should be something. And one more thing, so estimator is mean by default. Okay, so here we are getting the mean values only. If you want to change, you can change it. Okay, so if you go down, you will see, so what are all the estimators that you can do. So callable that maps vectors, we have almost statistical function to estimate within each categorical bin. So let's change the estimator to, let's say, okay, medium. Let's do some. Okay, string is not callable. So let's do one thing, np dot sum. Yeah. So summing the values. Okay, for the sports, these are the total sales. So for action, there is a highest sales compared to all. Action has highest number of sales, like that. So you're just doing the sum here. Okay, and based upon the sum, you are getting the plot. Okay, so you're doing the plot between two columns. Okay, the bivariate. So like this, you can mention between any two columns. You can mention. Okay, so between any two columns, you can mention this information. Okay, and okay, now let's do one more thing. Let's add a new thing called hue. Okay, let's see this one. Let's give hue So basically hue is nothing but it is going to divide based upon another column. Okay, so let's say in sports column, okay, in sports category. So if I wanted to see other information like platform, okay, so platform wise if I want to divide, okay, or let's say rating wise if I want to divide, how I can divide. So let me show you data of rating. Yeah. Of course, this is most it's a bit more confusing, but you can see in sports we have different ratings: E, M, T, E, T, E10 plus 1 KA, AO, like this. Okay, different kinds of rating are there, and you can see E rating in sports has highest sales. Okay, highest say like uh, global sales. Okay, highest global sales for E rating in sports car. Coming to the case of a platform, in platform also you have e-rating games have most global sales, and coming to the shooter games, M rating has highest sales compared to other. Okay, so like that you can divide your info. And let me get to 20 increasing. Yeah, of course. Fine. So like this, we are showcasing how we can divide each column. Okay. So with adding another column, we can divide this into more multiple columns. Okay. So that's one info that we can do, and so we can add any other columns as well. Okay. So if you wanted to divide more, there are multiple columns that we can mention here. So you can always use publisher also. Okay. You can use developer. So you can use like year of release. Okay. So like that, you can use anything. Okay. Anything you want, you can add in the hue and you can divide. Okay. You can add in the hue and you can divide. Okay. And so this is more so you can also say this one as a multivariate analysis, because we are adding third column as well. Okay, so other than genre and global sales, you are also adding rating. Okay, so you can consider this as multivariate analysis. Okay, so let me put this multivariate analysis. Okay, so this is multivariate analysis that we are doing. And of course there are a lot more things that we can do. So let me do one more thing. So I will show you this thing called SNS dot heat map. Okay, so in the previous classes we have seen the null values, remember. So data dot is null dot. So here we have seen this information, right? Here we have seen this information. So whether a particular record or the value is true or false, basically nothing but if true, it is a null value. If it is false, then it is not a null value. So we'll showcase this information in the format of a visualization. Okay. So SNS dot heat map. Okay. So let me increase the figure size. Fig size will be let's say 15,10. Okay. Let's see this. Okay, so you can see here the color right hand side, you can see the color bar. Okay, the coloring bar. So where 0 represents it is false and 1 represents which is true. Okay, so you can see here in the critic score, critic count, user score, user count, developer and rating, there are a lot of null values. Okay, there are lots of null values because you can see white color more compared to the black. Okay, but remaining other columns, name, platform, year of release, genre and all, so you can see black color more and there are very less number of lines. Okay, in year of release and in publisher you are seeing some null values, but in other columns you are not seeing. Okay, so like this you can clearly visualize which columns have null values, and which columns doesn't have null values. And so it is distributed over different records. Okay, different serial numbers and all, it is distributed. Okay, and I can increase the size as well. So let me put this to 20, and you can increase the height of the image so that it will be more clear. So you can see it is a little bit bigger now. Okay, so you can see, but it's not mandatory, but it's your wish. So like this, you can show the null values information. Okay, in which records how the null values are, like whether it is a null value or not, like that you can mention here. Okay, so that's what you can do. So basically, this is a heat map. So wherever the particular value is true or it is false, then it is going to show you like that. Okay, and based upon the number. Okay, so basically it is showing based upon the numbers only. Okay, so 1 and 0, 1 and 0 like that. So 1 is false and sorry, 1 is true and 0 is false. Okay, so based on that only it is showcasing. Okay, and if you want to showcase, let's say another data, say for example data dot describe. So this also I can showcase in this heat map. So SNS dot heat map of data dot describe. So let me increase the figure. Okay, so this is a figure, and you can see middle values mostly are black because most of the values are zeros and all. Okay, so you can see here 0 is black color and remaining all are in the white color. And in this one I'll show you one more thing. A naught is equals to true. Annotations, basically I'm going to show you the numbers. Okay, each number that is representing that particular block. Okay, so because this is 0 it is black in color. 0.01 which is near to black. Okay, like that. So whichever are the values near to black, so those are going to be black in color, and which are more like 2000s 3000 like that, so it is going to be different colors based upon the color bar that you are seeing here. Okay, so like this you can mention. Okay, like this you can create your heat maps. Okay, yeah, so we can do more visualizations as well. So I'll discuss more visualizations tomorrow, so if needed. So if you have any doubts you can ask me tomorrow also. Okay.